because there's just a lot of cookie cutter stuff out there that I could probably just outsource to and get a so-so product, but I want it to be like, me product. So
Yeah, that's not the $1 million to $5 million. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Overstock Dixie. You can go like and follow their Instagram. There's new items that pop up on there every day, multiple times a day. Anything from furniture to tools, electronics, pretty much anything you're looking for. Hey guys, welcome to the Derick Legg podcast. We are in the vault today. I am your host, Derick Legg. This is the coveted episode 69. We've got a local rising star. You're more popular than I am, so I don't know if I can call you a rising star. You're a bigger deal than me. This is Mitch Rose. How's it going, man?
good. How about you?
Good. It's funny, dude. We were just talking, we're in October right now, and it's my craziest month out of the year, mainly because of the deer hunt and the elk hunt and everything going on. But we ended up taking a little family vacation, and I did an episode the night before we left, and then we just got back last night, and I'm doing an episode now. So I'm just like trying to keep that schedule going,
back to back.
So, and then you're leaving tomorrow.
Yep.
So
I'm heading out of town too. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
I'm glad we get it lined up. When you came in, we did Jefferson Rogers podcast. You were here, and I was like, dude, why haven't we had you on yet?
Yeah.
So it was kind of a no-brainer just to bring you in. So I'm glad we could line it up.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
So I think what we're going to kind of do is just go through a little bit of your story, little backstory. That tends to be what people like the most. Like, give me a little bit of backstory and then what you're doing and where you're going.
Cool.
So let's do a little backstory on you. And then even since the first time I'd even heard your name to now, like you've 20 times what you've been doing, dude. So I think it's cool to have you on. I'd heard your name. It was probably through Jefferson. I don't remember because it would have been a year and a half ago.
Yeah, probably.
And so I've kind of been following a little bit. I've followed you on social media, and then I've heard your name again, and then you're with the Real Business Owners, and then Jeff kind of has you. Are you kind of full-time with him? Would you call it that? Or
not full-time, but we regularly shoot together, and then he's got like another crew that does more of like the social media stuff for JKR, but I'm more of his like personal content. So we do more like personal stuff, vlogs, and you kind of just go on vacations and vlog trips, and it's a blast. We just kind of show the person, behind the business, I guess. So,
sure.
Yeah.
And then all the local stuff you're doing too. And yeah, you're blowing up, dude. So I love it. Man. So just give me a little background, where you're from, whatever you feel like you need to share, and then we'll just kind of dive in. So I'll let you take it over.
Cool. So yeah, I'm from Southern California, Riverside, California, and I moved from there my senior year, actually, because I wanted to get in-state tuition because I was planning on going to Dixie State and doing like, I was planning on being like a physical therapist or something like that. So moved my senior year. So like when I turned 18 on my birthday, I got an apartment here and we moved all my shit up and just moved in and finished off high school by myself. And it was kind of weird. Like my mom was living here at the time up in New Harmony, which is about 30 minutes up the freeway there. And so I had some family, but my dad was still back in California and some other family members. But I was up here doing that, finished high school, started college. I actually, right when I moved during high school, I was working at Black Bear Diner. That was like the first job I've ever had. All my family would like tease me because I was like the one who'd play sports, and they're like, Mitch can't even spell work. Like I'd be busting my ass like playing football and 2-a-days, and was doing things outside of football practice and going to the gym myself, and was trying to bodybuild and do all that whole thing. But yeah, they were like, Mitch can't even spell work. And then I like got a job at Black Bear Diner. My mom was working there, and I was just like a bus boy for $7.25 an hour, and I was like 50-hour weeks, but they just saw me like cleaning up all the like trash, and I'm like super OCD clean freak. So they were like, what? He's touching that? Like weird. Anyways, but yeah, I was working there, going to college. And then I was still living in that apartment, and I just kind of started I think I was watching a YouTube video and I saw like the van life movement, and I saw this video and I was like, damn, dude, like I don't have much stuff and I feel like I can like do something like that. I don't have the job that allows me to go travel freely or anything, but I can at least live out of a van locally or whatever. So I was just like sick of paying rent. It was like $1,000 ish a month with utilities or whatever. And I was just like, I'm tired of paying this landlord and making him richer. I'm like, I'm going to save every penny I can and just put it back into myself. And so my thought was, let me move into a van, cut $1,000 off my, monthly thing, and save that and just keep reinvesting and saving until I can buy my own property or whatever. Because I was like, gosh, I want to be the landlord, not this guy. And I was like, I don't support it, so I'm not going to support his business.
And this was at what, 18, 19?
18. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And so I was still working at Black Bear, moved out, bought my first little brown van. It was like a Chevy Astro, converted it. It was like $500. Transmission was blown. I got it fixed and renovated that thing. And that one I probably lived in and out of for probably like 6 months to a year. I was like just couch surfing and bumming it, kind of living part-time at my mom's. So it was like not a full-time thing. It was just too small and not enough space for all my stuff. So then I found, during this whole process, still going to school, I was like sleeping in the school parking lots and stuff. And then I found on KSL an ambulance for sale. It was like $2,800. And I saw it was Hurricane Fire Department, and that's where my brother works. So I texted him. I was like, dude, are you guys selling this? He's like, yeah, bro. It's got the 7.3 in it, and it's only, 100,000 miles, whatever. And I'm like, tell your chief I'm coming tomorrow. I'm going to buy that shit. And so I came down with a check. I beat like 2 other guys that were driving from Salt Lake to get it, and wrote him a check. And that morning my brother was with the grinders scraping off the Hurricane Valley, sign and all the graphics and all that. And I was just like, what the fuck? I just bought an ambulance, like this is weird. I was like, I think it could be cool, but I don't know what it can be really. It was seriously like in one day I made the decision to buy it. And after that, sold the other brown van, converted this one, and I lived out of that for probably a year-ish, year and a half as well. And was just like go sleep above San Hollow. And that was like when the van thing was like noticeable, because everyone's like, who's this fucking guy like in an ambulance, And I would sleep at Dixie, and my professors, like, I remember one time I accidentally took a nap and I like didn't set my alarm or something, and I like missed class, and I like ran in like 20 minutes late. And they were like, we saw you out there. We were going to come knock and come wake you up. And I was like,
sleeping in your ambulance.
Yeah, no, it was funny. But all the professors and everyone was cool about it. But yeah, that was kind of how like the van thing started. And meanwhile, as I'm doing that, this is probably 2 years into Black Bear, and I'm just finishing up with school. I'm like, you know what? Thinking I want to be a physical therapist assistant because it's only 2 years of school and all this stuff. And so I was like trying to pivot and make $60K a year, or doing that, or I can make 75 median as a, physical therapist and do another, 7 years total of school. And I was just like, gosh, it just doesn't add up. I thought that'd be okay for me, like 70 grand, that'd be perfect. I could 56 grand. That's perfect. I can save this much and whatever. Right.
Living in a van, so
yeah. But I always knew I liked photography and videography, and I would always like buy the GoPro and take it on all of our family trips and just like pick a song and take all the footage and match it to the song and make a trip video, like that was just my thing. But, and then I think during that time, I want to say I tried to shoot like some commercials for like St. George Car Wash and like a couple other things. Like I was just trying to get creative. But I was like, one day they actually messed with my schedule at Black Bear. Like I would get 5 days off, let's say, or whatever the thing is, 3 days off. And I'd take my van, drive as far as I can, Colorado or wherever. I got to Canada a couple times and turn around and come back. Like that was just my thing. Go as far as I can until I had to come back for work. But one day they messed with it again. I had like a big week gap. And I was like, shit, dude, I'm like, this is annoying. Like they keep messing with my schedule. Like they just don't treat me with, respect. They keep fucking with my stuff. And I was just like, what can I do to like start moving the needle to try to become, I was like, you can't make $1 with photography. I'm like, there's no way I can do this. Like not a chance. That was my full belief. And I was just like, I got to do something. And I remember seeing a real estate agent that I also worked at Black Bear with posted an open house that she was having on Saturday. And I was like, hey, can I come shoot this house for free, give you a free video? And she's like, absolutely. Go shoot the video, send it to her that night. And she was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. I'm like, great. Next day I wake up and she's like, gave me a call and she's like, hey, my broker has a position for a photographer. And I was like, whoa. I was like, it's that easy. And anyways, I ended up calling this guy and I was supposed to essentially work for another company that was going to subcontract me from up north. And I was going to be kind of like their first guy down here. And I went up north and trained with them and they verified me and I was going to get paid like $30 to shoot a house and like $60 to shoot and edit. And I was like, damn, that's a big pay cut. Cause I was probably doing like 150-ish to $200 a day on tips with Black Bear. Mm-hmm. That was when I became a server too. And that was better like a month or two after I started. But I was like, oh gosh, like this is hard, but I'm just going to take the pay cut and just go for it. And so I was like, I'm going to go with this company, quit, put my 2 weeks in at Black Bear, which was so hard. Like I hate hard conversations, like so loyal to people and just, but anyways, I told him, I was like, I'm done and put my 2 weeks in. I think the next day I ended up getting like a big 12 top of agents and brokers, mortgage people. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm Mitch, can I get you something to drink? And one of the guys was like, Mitch Rose? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I talked to you on the phone. You were supposed, like, he's the one who sent me to the company, but apparently the company was supposed to buy this camera, this Matterport camera, that 360 that spins and goes through the house and 3D models the house. His son was doing it. His son stopped and he was going to sell the camera to this company. And then the company was going to hire me. And he's like, they tried to lowball me on the camera. And so I was like, screw that. And he's like, how about I just give you the camera for $200, I think it was. And I'll give you the camera, the iPad, and my son will teach you everything you need to know. And I have a list of agents ready to go for you. And you can make all your prices, set your own schedule. And I was like, yes, please. I'm like $30 to $60. I'm like, make my own schedule, do my own thing. I'm like, this is exactly what I needed. But it was just from me closing the door, behind me and just committing that I was like, this is the next best thing. And that's, I feel like, a big part of, anybody's journey is just kind of keep growing and finding new opportunities and just keep working towards, keep doing what you're doing. That's like, my dad always tells me that, just keep doing what you're doing and you'll find and keep growing and networking. And sure enough, it happened in a day or 2 days. Like all this stuff happened within a couple weeks.
But think of, sorry, let me cut you off for a second. We'll dive back in. Think about how many people have talents or have the want to be able to do that, but they never shut that door like you worded it.
Yep.
One thing that I reference Eric Thomas on here quite a bit, hip hop preacher. I don't know if you know him, listen to him.
Yeah.
He has a line that he says, and he said, basically, I'm paraphrasing this, says, if you don't do it for free, you'll never get a dime doing what you want to do. Mm-hmm. So if you don't give it away for free, you're never going to get paid for it.
Yeah.
And it's like this. So when you said that, it was the first thing that popped into my head. And so, but people don't realize that. Like when I started doing holsters 12 years ago, and that's how we built it. I mean, we went into, we were giving stuff free every week, just trying to get the word out, trying to get it out.
That's like my method now is, I mean, I don't do it anymore because I'm kind of busy just as a me, but as I'm growing, that's essentially the strategy is find one high producing agent, take that trust or like you build that instant trust and take the transaction out of it and say, I'm going to give you this great service for free, give them a great kick-ass service and experience. And then they're like, I got to use this guy every time. The price is worth it. Right. So you just give that one for free and the lifetime value of this customer is shit. They're going to work for 10 more years, 15, 30, however long.
Right.
Right. And it's like, if they're a high producing agent, you just gave away one shoot for free, and that lifetime could be 40, 100,000, whatever it is.
Yeah. X amount.
Yeah. X amount, let's just say. But that's a strategy.
Well, and like one step further than that, like that agent has put in their time and their blood and their free stuff that they've done to get to where they're at.
Exactly.
And then now you're seeking them, and then it's going to turn into other people seeking you. And so it's just interesting how that ball rolls, right?
Yeah. And they're great too. Like most of my clients are from referrals, like I'll periodically cold call just to practice on my sales tactics or whatever. Like I don't know sales. I just sell a product that kind of sells itself. But like, I just want to try, like, I want to know that I'm trying to get leads, so I try cold calling and find an agent that doesn't have good photos, and I'll call them, hey, like, try to offer them some photos, and sometimes it works, sometimes not. But.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that you're being extremely humble about it, but when you were saying that you don't really have to do it for free anymore, it's like, well, you kind of don't until you're trying to take that next step is what I'd assume, right?
Yeah.
And so...
And I'm working on it.
And that's what people don't get is like, once you... I mean, in my very... I'm not super educated in the world of photography, right? And so like, I don't know the lingo, I don't know all that, but from what I've seen, you're one of the best, if not the best in our area. And so that kind of just speaks for itself. So once you get to that point that you're, top 5, top 10% in whatever you're doing, then it becomes where it speaks for itself, regardless of what that is. If you're a chef, if you're a photographer, if you're, selling safes like we do, if you're doing podcast studios and doing podcasts like Blueform, like once you become that level, then people start seeking you. Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
And so, and people got to understand, you got to get there first though.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
I think a big shift in my business, and a reason I'm able to separate myself or stand out, is that so many people pick up a camera and just go straight B to C. And it's like, dude, you're going straight to a consumer that, one, is not going to make a return on this investment, right? It's all strictly like emotional based buy. Like, I want this sentimental wedding or sentimental family pictures, or I want this for myself or whatever, right? Whereas if you can just simply turn it into going after businesses, going towards businesses, you're going to get a return, or you're going to help them get a return on their investment. This product and service that I'm going to give you is going to make you more money than you're going to spend on me. That's my goal.
Exactly.
If I can make you money, you're going to give me a lot more, So, and if we can do it over and over and over again, it's even better. So that's kind of my tactic on like trying to separate myself, is like, one, you're never going to get reoccurring really business, maybe once a year for family photos or a wedding. That's it. Unless they get divorced, then they might call you again if it was a good one. But it's just like, to me, that business model doesn't make sense. Like, a ton of videographers, especially in Utah, go for weddings or just go to consumer. And it just, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, I need reoccurring, right? And I have my real estate agent, which is like my bread and butter. And then I offer, hire video services for businesses that need advertising or whatever, right? So that's more of like one-off-ish, but they'll probably need reoccurring content. Say they need social media stuff, website stuff, whatever. And then, that's kind of like how I have to set up my business. So I have like constant real estate to fill in all the gaps, and then I can put big projects in between, like when I can fit them. And so that's kind of what I like to do. And that's how I've been able to separate myself and make a substantial amount more than other photographers. And it's just like, everyone can do it. And there's everywhere else in the world, like LA and who else, every other state, there's people just like me. It's just like, there's no one like me in St. George. So no, there's some, there's a couple other good guys that I can definitely vouch for, that they're studs. But yeah, that's a little way that I try to separate myself a little.
Yeah. It's smart. You're kind of building in that, gosh, dude, I'm having a hard time with words today.
You're good, dude.
You're building in that benefit for them to build into their budget. And so you get paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good way to put it.
Yep.
So anyway, let's get back. So you got the camera, you're going to kind of pitch this, or are you already in it, or are you still kind of working that?
Yeah. So he gave me that camera. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And I bought it, and I think his son would train me, and I was like super scared, but just showed me this little invoice app, and I still use it today actually. And they've just grown. Like they're now accepting credit cards, and you can, go through PayPal, all this stuff. So I don't have to use Stripe or Square or whatever. So I'm still using like the same invoicing system that I was first taught on my phone. But yeah, I bought the camera. My first job was like $100, and I was like scared shitless going in there. But dude, I didn't even actually know how to take real estate photos. Like I had no idea. Like I just saw the pictures I took when I shot for that agent, the video. Dude, it was like I put it all the way to the roof, and it was like all tilted down. There was like it just looked so bad. I wanted to cringe, but anyways, it was the start. But I didn't know how to use my camera, but I used the Matterport as a way for me to teach myself. Like I'd go in with the Matterport and then go to practice. Like I'd use my other camera to practice and get better that way. But anyways, I didn't know how to do that. Barely knew how to do video. Like didn't know how to add text on a video. And so I'm doing that, I think, like probably for the first month, just real estate. And then I went over to fitness culture. I worked out there. And Jake is one of the business partners and owners there. And I walked up and saw they were filming one day. And I was like, hey, I know you guys got a videographer already, but if you guys are ever looking for an extra hand or whatever, like I'd love to sit in or help you guys out. He's like, yeah, okay. Like just kind of blew me off. And then probably a month after, they reached out and we're like, hey, our guy's not really cutting it. He's not stylish. He's kind of old in the time of video. He's just like doesn't stay up with social media and have a good look for it. And so we want to try you out. And I was like, sweet. And then I was like, I don't know how to do this, but sweet. And came in and shot like a trainer YouTube video with Jake and some of the other guys in there. And they were like, you can have it back next week. Went home that night, busted it out. My thing was speed. I was like, I do this fast. Like I want to do it fast. And so I gave it to him that night. And they're like, it's perfect, dude. Like I didn't even know how to add text. And I'm like trying to buy presets on lower third drop-ins and all this stuff. Like seriously, just kind of laying the path. But I sold them on the fact that I could do video. And then that was like an instant salary position. I think they paid me like $2,000 a month to get started. And that was like, perfect, dude. This is my nest egg. Like I have this to, and that was like where I really grew, because they were expecting a lot from me, and they knew where I was at, but they were, seeing me grow, and I was able to shoot tons of videos and tons of photos every day. And, I just was able to just rinse and repeat type of stuff and
just
get better at YouTube
all the time. Yeah. Because there's always something going on.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. And then I met up with another girl. She does like, YouTube for hair tutorials and makeup tutorials. And she was like, hey, do you do YouTube videos? Like I went to school with one of her employees. And so she plugged me to her and was like, hey, I think this guy does video, and reached out. And so so Jocelyn is her name. And then fitness culture and then real estate was like my main stuff. Like from July is when I quit Black Bear to December, I was just like focusing on them and producing YouTube videos and real estate pictures. And I think come December, I think my first month was like 1,300. I was looking at it the other day. It was like 1,300 was my first month. Then it was like 1,700, 2,300. And then I think I was like, I just remember during December, I took a trip to Mexico with all my friends, and I was just like dying of work, like so much, like overload. I'm like, I can't do this. If I'm like working this hard and getting paid this much, like this ain't it. Like I was just like so pissed and just complaining and bitching. And I remember I was telling everyone about it and just complaining. And then my dad snapped at me and was like, Mitch, he's like, raise your damn prices. Like everyone else was telling me. And then I was like, okay, it's time. So I texted all my clients, January 1st, prices are going. I was like 50 an hour. And I was like, everything's going to 100 an hour for filming and editing and whatever. And couple clients dropped off, and majority of them stayed on. And I think my last month in December was like close to 4,000. And then that next month it was like 7,800. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
It's that, and then the next month just kept growing and growing. And then from there on, it just kept getting better. And
I kind of learned that lesson too, where on a couple product based businesses we had where we hadn't raised prices in years.
Yeah.
And I was doing the same thing in my head. This isn't worth it. You know, it's not worth my time. I've got this other thing over here that I'm making more on. And I had someone tell me it was so simple. Like, dude, you just need to raise your prices.
I use that to my advantage too. Like you said, like over here, I'm making this much. Like with my video projects, if I'm making this much, sorry,
you're good.
My real estate better, like for the time being spent on this, it better make sense. So then my real estate prices would change. Then I get better and more efficient at real estate to where I'm making like $200 an hour to where I'm like, shit, now my videos are $100 an hour and I'm making 200.
Yeah.
So now my videos need to be $200 an hour. Right. And so now that's my going rate is $200 an hour, but I'm fast. So, 5 hours for me might be 15, 20 at who knows what, 100 an hour. Right.
Yeah.
So where you might be paying more and get it, shorter turnaround time, but 200 an hour sounds absolutely insane, which it's still cheap in the sphere of videos. Like the people we had out here with Jefferson, like that's big. That's big production money, like, in the grand scheme of things. But I'm at, the single or smaller entrepreneur type, level of people making about $1 million to, $5 million a year. Like that's kind of my clientele niche, to where they can justify and pay those prices. Whereas like, $100,000 or $100 million companies can hire a crew to come out and film a commercial for $150,000. Right. So
Exactly.
it's like, you get what you pay for. And I'm like the best you can get for these prices. So the next level is like just getting like a higher production to do whatever it is. But people just need like, people like Jeff, they want content, they want good content, they want it consistently, and they want someone they can rely on and have loyalty with and never do them dirt, right? And I'm that guy. Like I will bend over and do backflips for any one of my people, and I'll do what I say I'm going to do, and that's what people get for $200 an hour.
Right. And they're getting the speed, they're getting the loyalty.
Yeah.
And I think those are two huge things in any business, having the loyalty to someone, especially what you're doing, but really in anything, if you can follow through with your commitments and be loyal to someone, and the speed as well. Like I draw on a lot of parallels between us, because when we started holsters, it was the same thing. We turned around holsters in the same day. So it was like,
crazy.
I would drive, and I was doing this out of my
like
basement.
Leather or like just
the
like
Kydex plastic holsters.
Okay.
And so a lot of the times we needed the weapon. Most of the time we needed the weapon to actually build the holster around it. And so, and I was doing it out of my basement. I didn't have a storefront back then.
Yeah.
And so I would drive to like the Walmart parking lot, like, like a store parking lot or the mall or something, to meet someone in a parking lot. I would take their gun, and they're just giving their gun to a stranger, and then I would like write a little hand receipt to them or something and be like, hey, I'm in possession of this gun with this serial number to make a holster. And I'd give it to them.
Yeah.
And then I would go home, make the holster in like an hour, and I'd call them and be like, hey, I'm done with this. Where can I meet you? And they're like, dude, you're done already.
That's crazy.
That was the backbone of Weapon X holsters.
Yeah.
Is a lot of the times I was the same day turnaround.
Yeah.
And then the gun stores started hearing that this is what I was doing. And so Rowdy's Range, Dixie Gun and Fish, at the time there was a Red Rock. I can't remember what it was called now. There was another little store. So one of them called me, hey man, I heard you're doing this. Is there any way we can help you out? And I'm like, yeah, I'd like to sell product there. Oh, well, I don't know if we're ready to give up, shelf space, but if there's anything we can do, we'd like to help out local business, small time owners and whatnot. And so Rowdy's Range was one of them. So I started doing just like a pickup drop off area in their store.
Oh, cool.
And so customers could go there, or if they were like, I need a holster for this, but you don't have one, where can I get one? They would say, hey, leave it here, come back tomorrow, and we'll have it done for you.
Nice.
So they would put
smart.
it, had like a little spot in their office on a shelf where they would text me, got a gun for you. I would drop everything I was doing. I'd run straight over there. I'd pick up the gun. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying, dude. We're parallels, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And then usually before they closed that night,
the
I'd
best
be back.
availability is availability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the scalability of your time and what you can do? And I know you've got a couple people working for you on different kind of spin-offs of what you're doing. I'm just curious where you say you're in that, $1 million to $5 million budget, or what net worth,
revenue,
Yeah.
let's just say per year. Yeah.
So what, is there another step? I mean, where are you trying to take it from here? Is it getting more people? Is it getting, what's next?
I think what's next, most logically scalable thing would be real estate photography. I finally have like some good editors that I can outsource my editing to, and they help out a ton. They do kind of like all my blending, because I do like HDR images where 5 different exposures per room or outside, and you can see outside the windows and inside, like super bright and perfect. And then I kind of come in and do little final tweaks and stuff like that. But doing that, I'm finding some video editors for the real estate stuff, and I just have to be super crystal clear on, living room, master, kitchen, like put it in order the way I need it, and use this song started at this time, because there's just a lot of cookie cutter stuff out there that I could probably just outsource to and get a so-so product, but I want it to be like, me product. So
yeah, that's not the $1 million to $5 million.
Yeah. But real estate, if I can hire some shooters, which I've been training a couple, and then supply them with the leads, essentially, then I can have a full operating, great real estate business that I'm fully hands off on.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to do, like I said, like trying to get brokerages to just sign me and be the designated guy or preferred guy with them. But yeah, that's kind of the direction I want to go first, because I think that's going to be the easiest thing to scale. I just filmed a whole fleet of videos for this course I'm launching. And it's going to be photography specific first, and then we'll eventually get into video stuff. But right now, photography on Google is like a super high searched thing. And so obviously there's a ton of photography courses and videography courses and like wedding court, whatever. But I want to be the guy that's like, I've done my business in such a different way, that I think that I could help people. No, I know I can help people go from 0 to 6 figures so fast just with photography, and even adding little videos like from your phone. Like I'm even adding little reels now for clients, to where it takes me 5 to 10 minutes to walk through a house, walk through the whole thing, go home, edit. It takes me about 10 minutes to speed ramp through the house, and it's a social media trending, right? They can add their own song, whatever fits their branding, right? Like I do no music on it. They could post it to the MLS. So they could still have a video. Like my normal video is like 500, but it comes with like, I shoot it with my camera, have drone involved, like all this stuff, right? But with this style of video, it's a cheaper, easier way for agents to get video, but a little more budget friendly, right? So little things like that I teach in there, to just like, these are such simple things to use. Like it's basically, how can I position myself as a piece of value in front of all these different kinds of people, right? And try to diversify your business instead of niching down on one thing, which is okay, if you're okay with that. But I treat my business more like an investment portfolio of having, these kind of video clients, right? Or like the YouTubers, the real estate agents, right? Like I try to have as many different channels of business, to where if one's suffering, these are doing great, and I can kind of, right? So the course is hopefully going to be a good thing, and hopefully get some great success and get some good testimonials from people, and then scale that thing, because that could be super good. And I really do want to help people. Like if I can get that thing up and running and really start proving results, I'll hopefully start doing retreats, and I would love to get a big Airbnb and do one-on-one with a ton of people, and essentially bring them in from nothing, have them bring their camera gear, and we all set up and get the same shot in the same Airbnb, right? And then I give them, they're able to take all this content home with them, to where it's now their portfolio piece, right? And then they can start, offering services for free and start getting clients, whatever. But that would be my next thing.
How far out are you on that, do you think?
Probably January, realistically.
Fairly close.
I've been trying to do a video per day to get edited, but it's a lot of work, especially like just with some of the technical stuff. And it's like, I do have to be, because mine's not like, I'm not teaching the people who are already where I'm at. I'm teaching the people who are at zero. So I have to, coach them from the bottom to get where they need to be. But that's the thing too, is like just, I'm sorry, all over the place, with me putting a course out, like to be scared to do it, which I'm still like, gosh, should I be doing this? But I'm like, I know I can, because look what I've done, and I can help people get from here to where I'm at. But the next level, once I get to the next level, then I'll teach them how to get to that level, you know? So it's just like an ongoing, you just have to teach them within your means, essentially. And I think I can definitely help, just because my business has just kept doing better. Every time I've doubted it, it just keeps getting better and keeps growing. And I'm like, damn, these numbers are fucking real.
Yeah.
Like, this shit is crazy.
Well, and you're not scared to open that next door. I mean, well, you might be a little bit scared, but you do it.
Yeah.
And so
I know how beneficial it is. Yeah. And it's like, it's just pivoting. Like, it could be a flop in the first couple of things because we missed this video or whatever feedback we can get from our people to say, these videos need to be implemented. We need to start doing things like this or change this around. It's just little pivots and little minor tweaks to where it's a nice flow and you're getting great sales and helping a lot of great people do great things. And it's like, that'd be kick ass.
I think, dude, two things. I love the idea, and I've been trying to figure out what I could do that's kind of that, like kind of coaching, kind of mastermindy, kind of, whatever you want to put to it. Just different skills because I mean, that's why I do the podcast, is I like helping people. I like trying to get information out there. I've tried to promote people, all that. And so I try to figure out something like that. So that's one thing. The second thing is, dude, that was a whole different conversation than we've had so far.
Yeah.
Like, once you started talking about that and helping people and grouping people together and teaching them, like, you can tell that you have a large amount of passion for that. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about photography, but just the idea of that and how you kind of lit up when you started talking about it. I mean, I know you're going to do it. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Well, I just think, seriously, like, when you think about it, like, we were looking at the search volume, me and my partner in it, and it's like 18,000 searches a month for how to do photography. And it's like, if this many people are wanting to do photography, like, like, imagine how many people are like lost in life. Like, I can take Joe Schmo that's working the kitchen at this restaurant that just hates their life and literally give them something that they can make their own schedule, make an insane 6 figures, doing it easily. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, what I do in that 6-figure range is easy. It's easy, it's scalable, and it's like, so rinse and repeat, and it doesn't get mundane. It's like, you're helping people. Like, I get stoked. I get beautiful houses I get to see, beautiful people I get to work with. It's like I created the dream for myself, and I know how beneficial it is that I get to wake up every day and do what I want to do when I want to do that. Do you know how many people want that?
Right.
And the people that want that are like, shit, I got to do this and have this and create this business, and you got to do, and it's like, or you can just do photography and set it up like this and run your business like this, and it could be the easiest damn 6 figures you've ever made.
Yeah.
Like, I know that now where I'm at in my business, like, that first year, I think, which was about 6 months, I did about 30K or something like that. 2020, during the pandemic and all that shit, I did 6 figures. That was my first 6-figure year. And I was like, wow.
And you're like, dude, server at Black Bear to this.
Mm-hmm. And I think I was like 40,000-ish a year at Black Bear. And then
not
last
shitting on
year,
Black Bear.
Yeah, no,
it's just
good food. It's a lot of food. But then last year I did 200. And then this year I'm on track to do 300. So it's I'm so confident now that whatever happens in the economy or whatever, that I know I can always make 6 figures. But, I'm obviously going to try to keep going past and further ahead than I've done. But like, I just can't explain like the relationships that I built because of photography, the things I've seen and the places I've gone just from holding a camera. Like, if you can provide value to people and hold the camera and just be a person that people want to be around and light them up and just have a good time, like, like, it's easy. It really is. And I know for a fact that I can help a lot of, just sick in the mind, just not having it with life, just like, I want more, like I'm sick of what I'm doing. I hate working for this person. I don't want to work for anybody. I want to do something on my own. Like there's plenty of business out there for people to go and get, obviously, but like, gosh, if I could just help, a couple people improve that and just go from there. And there's a ton of other people doing it and they're doing great, and
Right.
I want to be one of those people as well that just helps people in my way of doing things, but it's pretty crazy just to think like not even the people searching for how to do photography, like anybody I can help, that even if they're like not passionate about photography, this is a great system that you can scale and have a great time doing it, make your own schedule and be free, which is what everyone wants, right?
Pulling the networks that you have, growing your network.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the podcast has done for me. It's just my network is, 10 times. I've said it on here before. And it's put me in the room with people that I never thought I'd ever be in the room with, and it's like you, like I've followed you, I've known who you are. And now, I mean, I've met you one other time, and then Jefferson's podcast with me when he was in here, we met.
Okay.
I was in the same room with you. I don't think I ever introduced myself. I don't think I got to you. I'm trying to remember where it was, but I remember asking someone, I think that's Mitch Rose. Yeah. And then when Jefferson was on, and then now, right? So that's what brought us. Well, I know more of your story now. So I don't know. It's just kind of cool getting into different things. One thing I wanted to touch back on that I wrote down was when you were going through kind of figuring all this out, getting the camera, the guy's son going to teach you how to do it. And it's funny because a lot of people I talk to that have grown or scaled a business on their own that they hadn't purchased, that they actually had to do it from A to Z. It's always, I didn't know what I was doing, you know, but you have to figure it out.
I didn't even know it was a business. I was just like, I have to like pay taxes. And so I guess I got to set up an S corp. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But so many people overthink that stage.
Yeah.
And it's until maybe not even, and I always refer it back to like fake it to make it, right?
Dude, that was my thing. I told you, I sold it. I sold those people that I could do video and I couldn't. Right. And I did it.
But there's a certain type of people that can figure it out.
Yeah.
And so when you go into that and you have at least the confidence to know that you can figure it out, that's kind of what the fake it to make it is. It's like, well, I know I can fake it because I know I'll stay up all night to try and figure this out.
You don't want to be an imposter, but you want to definitely.
It's two different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not like walking around telling people I'm a master videographer.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell people I'm going to make you $500,000 if you buy this.
Right.
No, that's not how it works.
So I think that's part of it. When you're going through that, and there's people that listen to this that are in that stage.
Yeah.
They're in that stage of, you had, again, I don't know the lingo, but you went through a couple things where I didn't know this. And now you're talking about different exposures, and like I understand the concept of that, but not how to do it, right? And so you start going through those. You just don't overthink it. Just start doing it.
Yeah.
Just start putting your feet down. Start taking the steps. Freaking watch some YouTube videos.
Be resourceful. Because thinking about what you said about like most people overthink the steps of like, I got to set up my business. Like I feel like you either overthink it or you don't think about it at all, and then you get. Just like start doing stuff and then you're like, then
the IRS comes calling.
Caught with your pants down. So I'm always like so cautious about that kind of stuff and like trying to be over prepared, for everything. But just ask people, dude. There's tons of people. And that's the thing with videography. Videography is most of the business people I work with, I could just ask them.
Right.
And Jeff, we talked about this in one of the questions. We were doing some intentional content, and it was just like, what's the best way? One of the questions was, what's the best way to start like becoming an entrepreneur? And Jeff was like I tried to hang around some rich people, and it just like, they don't want you hanging around. Right. But I'm like, dude, like think about what I did. I provided value to some guy or girl, whoever, and like started producing content for them because that's what they wanted. They wanted content for their business or them or whatever. And then you get to just like literally absorb, just be a sponge and just like listen, and just that to me, like Jeff's changed my life in thinking bigger. Like I don't think that I'd hit the numbers I have already if it wasn't for Jeff's like push
for sure
to like get me out of the like, he's still on my ass of not being a solopreneur. Like he's like, you got to get it, scalable. And it's just true. I do. And so it obviously I can't do it overnight. I'm just preparing right now. I'm just taking all the steps, but he's been a huge influence, but just like you can learn so much from just being around other entrepreneurs or filming for entrepreneurs. Like even if you did it for free at first, you can't go out charging a bunch if you don't have the credibility, but just start charging videos or get on a little, dude. If I was doing like monthly subscriptions with my clients and just said like, pay me $2,000 a month or something, like, and gave them like a full-time person's content, just like batch shoot a bunch of stuff and give it to them, they'd be stoked.
Right.
It's like, that'd be a great method for somebody. Get 5 clients, there's 10K
a month. Yep.
And it takes you like not that long.
There's so many ways out there to make money, man. So many.
It's crazy.
And that's crazy. That's what I love about the podcast is we bring on so many different walks of life, right?
Yeah.
And people will talk about what they've done financially, and I'm just like, who would have thought?
I know.
And I want to let's kind of pivot into. I know you're moving more, or not moving more, but you're trying to build that real estate portfolio more for yourself. Where I think we're going to go through a huge shift coming up in the future of real estate. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think you could bring in and add value for real estate agents, for builders, for whoever you're working with? Because we've lived in this state of abundance for the last couple of years. And I mean, like I just bought a property in, by Joshua Tree in California to Airbnb. And like I sent the realtor the property. Like I did it all.
Yeah, you did the work and they signed the papers.
She drove out to it and looked at it and was like, thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then we bought it.
Jeez.
And so, and she's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying like, there's been so much opportunity out there that you don't really have to move the needle at all. Mm-hmm. So what do you think is going to happen? What are you kind of preparing to be able to bring to the table to counter what's going to happen? And what I'm meaning is everything's slowing down. We're in a hot market in St. George comparably to the United States. But it's definitely going to change. Everything's going to shift for sure.
Yeah,
and
it already is.
Yeah, people that can't pivot are going to realize that their 6-figure income from being a realtor of not doing much is going to go away.
So far, what I've seen is 100% the market has slowed, and a ton of buyers. Like every day, I'm shooting houses, so I seriously just so involved with it. And seeing what prices are, comparables, comps. I'm doing my own research to look at home prices and what rents could be. And right now, the market in St. George has been so inflated and pushed over price that now that interest rates have obviously raised, everyone's payment has gone through the roof. So essentially, everything that's priced right now is most likely about $100,000 to $150,000 too high than what it needs to be. And and I'm saying that like seriously, like a lot of people are just holding on to the fact of what their house could have sold for about a year ago or 8 months ago. Right. But it's just not going to sell. It's just, unfortunately, they're going to be stuck and they're going to have to either drop their price or take it off the market. That's what I'm seeing already. I think that the market is probably going to keep slowing. I'm not an expert or anything, but just due to what it is, like especially in our market, I'm just talking about. I don't know the rest of the U.S., but in St. George, the market is definitely going to just keep going down. But I think it will adjust to once buyers, like it's a disconnect. Like sellers think that they're going to get top dollar for their home still, and they're not. And buyers are used to getting this, like super nice, sweet home for this price, but now they're going to have to drop into they can't afford $600K anymore. They can only afford $400,000, and that's the house that they can get. Does that make sense? Like they're going to have to come to terms with, you can't afford this house anymore. And sellers are going to have to come to terms with, you're not going to sell your house for this much anymore. So it'll start to like slow. And then once everyone gets whenever it hits a stagnant time period, I guess, of 6-8 months, a year, then buyers and sellers will start to keep transactions going, and then things will probably ride out from there. I don't know if it's going to tank or whatever people think, but in my business, what I've seen so far is obviously everybody in the market a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago can get away with phone pictures. And now I'm seeing more people adding twilights, adding videos, adding, Matterport, stuff like that, to where they're adding more of these resources to help sell the house, because it's going to be harder. It's going to be a lot harder. So, and what I think is that, gosh, if my business did that well in such a hot market to where you could sell with an iPhone picture, like, what's it going to do when people really need me, right?
Yeah.
So advertising in a whole is just a cry for help. If In-N-Out, they don't advertise. They don't need to. Commercial here and there, whatever, on the radio.
Yeah. Like McDonald's.
No, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, McDonald's does it because they're always launching whatever and they're just billions. But advertising is a cry for help. If you're wanting to expand your business, you're advertising. I don't advertise right now because I can't fulfill. Anybody who's advertising is looking for more. And so in that way, I'm thinking that advertising, meaning the marketing material I could provide to people are going to need more of that, because they're going to they need to sell their homes quicker than they normally would, or stand out compared to the people with iPhone pictures, right? So if anything, my business should do not only better in the sense of more clientele reaching out, but also higher ticketed like invoices. So instead of just a 25 pictures, they're getting a 1-minute video with it and some drone pictures too, right? So that's what I'm predicting and expecting to see. It could not do that. I'm not sure. I've never lived through it. I'm prepared to do whatever I need to do to,
that's
keep
what
going.
It is.
Yeah.
Being able to have the preparation and the vision to pivot.
Yeah. But as far as buying real estate though, it's like everybody says in the investor world, the deals are out there. You got to make the deals work. You don't just find deals on Zillow that are just smoking deals unless you're searching in certain markets. But like in St. George, that is so rare to just be on Zillow. And look, like I found my fourplex with Jeff on Zillow, and we were actually here shooting some ads. And I was like, Jeff, you see this? Because he had talked about like maybe partnering with me. Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, check this fourplex out. And my agent sent me like 2 weeks ago. He's like, let's go look at it. Because they were only accepting offers from people who had seen the property. So we went out that night, checked it out, put an offer in, full price. They accepted.
Hell yeah.
We got a good deal, in my opinion. It'll be a great one after we do all the renovations. We could refi out, still cash flow. It'll be like a zero in type of.
Dude, that's all the stuff that's interesting to me. And like you were saying before we got on, you signed up for the
real estate investing school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
and I didn't even have that knowledge yet. I was just like, I literally, my Jared Gish is my real estate agent here in St. George. Shout out to Jared, but he's a stud and he's like always looking out for me, and he'll send me deals if he like thinks it's a good one, or or if I find a deal, I'm like, what do you think? What's your thoughts? Right. And I have my thoughts of what it could be or what it could look like. And I've like used him to be my like, what do you think about this? Should I do it? Yes or no? Yes. Great. And he just like, he's stoked for me. Cause he's just like, I wish I was a little more aggressive like you doing it, but I just know that I'm like, just put my money in this place and it's going to be better than sitting in my bank or buy a toy with it. Right. So that's my whole logic of saving money, is like save enough to put it somewhere and then.
Well, it's funny that he says that, because you've had to go through what you've gone through building your business and taking the risk on yourself to get to the point of where you are now.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if I didn't do everything I've already done, I wouldn't have the confidence. Right?
Yeah, that's true. You got to build confidence. That's 100% true.
Yeah, you have to do hard things to build confidence. So,
but the real estate market, dude, it's going to be cool to see what happens, and I'm excited, and you're probably excited to hopefully have a better opportunity to just be scrolling through Zillow and find a good deal.
Well, it used to be be that way. Like if I
think, dude, I mean, you lived here in St. George for what years? Forever,
I've lived
right?
here since I was
dude, I'm like, if only I was older and had lived here or made money, for Christ's sake.
Dude, if I was just smarter, I made the money.
I didn't. I was like, I didn't even have a job. I didn't even know what real estate was. And I'm like too late to the game when I show up, and I'm,
how old are you?
I'm not late to the game, but you got to make the deals. I'm 23.
Yeah, dude, you're a kid, man.
Well, I just think of the opportunity if I could have had the
think when you're 45 and this happens again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like that's the thing, is that's why you just keep buying, find good deals, buy them and hold.
Exactly.
And just.
I was talking to this guy the other day, and we're going to try to get him on here. He's out of California, big investor. He's a financial
advisor? Or?
Yeah, in the financial market, I think is how he worded it.
Okay.
But he was kind of telling me the same thing. And I said, I've searched nationwide for trying to find something in a market that would be a good short-term rental, and still be able to hold its value if there is a downturn. And, and we were in Florida looking for a while, and then we ended up closing on this one. It was like a week ago in California, and we're in the setup phase right now. Mm-hmm. And he was like, dude, I'm pulling everything out of California. Why would you buy in California? And I'm like, dude, I know their politics scare the shit out of me, and I'm kind of talking. And he's like, yeah, we're buying up stuff here. And I was like, dude, I looked here. I just couldn't, with prices so high, couldn't find anything that really made sense that I could turn quick and start making money on.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're out there. You just got to look. And he kind of started talking to me about it. And it was interesting, a lot of the stuff he brought up. But it's all education. That's what I was kind of coming back to with the school that we're both in now.
That's what they teach you is if you're looking where everyone else is looking, you're probably not going to find it.
Yeah.
And you got to get on, like I'm working on getting some wholesalers lists, which you got to obviously buy cash and do hard money loans and get into all that stuff. But it's like, if you want to play the game at that level or get in it that way or flip or whatever, it's just what it takes. But yeah, I'm trying to do what I can to, even you can get on a slew of real estate agents lists or whatever to get updates. And this is my buying criteria. This is what the numbers should look like. And if one pops up, you could be the first one. And there's just Facebook. You can find stuff on Facebook.
There's so many resources, man.
So many.
I was just naive to all that. And I just thought
we still are. We don't know, but we're learning.
I was naive to think that it was even that easy to gather the information. Like I didn't think it'd be that easy.
Yeah.
And then when I started getting into some of these coaching things, I'm like,
I mean, if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it.
Well, I'm like, a lot of it is that easy though. It's just getting the time and the investment into it. I mean, these things cost money, right?
Yeah.
And we were even talking before, like even just utilizing the stuff you paid for is a lot of it too. Mm-hmm. And just getting in to know how they can move around different financing, how creative they can get with financing.
That's the whole piece of the pie.
For me, it was for sure.
Gosh, I need money to do this. Like you could do a lot of things. It might be harder, but you can do a ton of things with essentially zero money. But in my opinion, I don't really like that style of investing. I shouldn't say that. I would go for that, but it's a lot harder, and you got to know your strategies. And say you are doing a owner finance deal, and I don't know, it's just you got to know how to do it, and you got to have the resources to do it and pull out and refinance and make sure your ARV is perfect. And if you value add on a property, what's it gonna appraise for? Like I'm trying to learn all that stuff. Like I found one in Santa Clara that I was looking at, and it looked like it could be a good deal for the right price, but I went and walked the property, and the foundations just sunk. Like I was in the house and just felt drunk. Like all the ceilings had cracks in it. It was totally bad. And apparently that area is bad for blue clay or something. So no deal.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's interesting. I think for the people that want to get into anything, whether that's real estate, photography, sales, whatever, starting a podcast, whatever, the information's out there to figure it out. But there's always a point where, with all the risks that I've taken the last couple of years, getting into everything I've been getting into, buying this house was scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, dude. Buying my personal house scared the shit out of me. And then I was like, what can I rent the rooms for? Yeah, and then I started getting creative. It was I saw this house, it was $550. And I'm like, my buying, I was going to stay in the 400s, but everything that I looked at the 400s was shit.
Yeah.
And I needed a ton of work, which I'm not that guy to do that kind of stuff. And so I found one for $550 that was turnkey, and I just house hacked the whole thing, and I don't pay my mortgage.
Nice.
I rent the basement out for $1,300, one of the upstairs bedrooms to another couple for $850, and then my girlfriend pays me $350. It's $2,500. So
done.
Covers everything. I just pay utilities $250-ish per month, but that was a huge thing, and it's still scary. What if they can't make But if anything, their jobs will stay afloat. I shouldn't say that. I'm not even going to put that out there. But they have jobs, and I have. I'm an entrepreneur, so I should be. that's a whole nother story. My dad has always like scared me about being an entrepreneur and be careful. And so that's why I'm like so protective and like make sure I have my funds right. Like, like if shit hits the fan, I got enough money to pay me and this and that.
Sure.
So I'm like over prepared because of the fear my dad's instilled in me. And I'm not frugal, or I'm not, I'm still living like abundance in an abundance mindset as far as being aggressive on buying real estate and stuff like that. So it's not like that, but you just be cautious, be good, smart with your money, but don't be an idiot.
Yeah, same, dude. That balance of like, okay, I do have to take some sort of risk.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, okay, well, at the end of the day, can I make enough money to support all this if I need to?
Yeah. I'm in like the medium to breaking into the higher risk, investments. Like I'm all out of stocks and crypto and all that shit. I've never even, like, I think probably 3 years ago I sold out of my stocks and that was it. But once I learned about real estate, and not only can you make great money, great cash flow, great returns long term, but the tax benefits, like I'm now trying to become a real estate agent only to hang my license, and essentially I can become a real estate professional. And that fourplex we just bought, like I'm going to owe a ton on taxes this year because I overshot what I've been paying in every month. And like I'm not able to depreciate that like I could if I was a real estate professional, therefore going against my active income, and I wouldn't have to pay all those taxes, So it's like, that was my problem. And I was resourceful about it and said, what can I do, CPA? And he said, you can become a real estate professional. I've heard Jeff talk about it and a couple other people. And I'm like, you can do it. I can do it right now and claim it, which I might even be able to say that managing my house and my roommates in the yard and everything could be considered. You need like 750 hours a year or something. And then the fourplex, I've been doing a ton of just not even work on it, but just work on it, like phone calls and just time on it. But, becoming a real estate agent would like slam dunk me into the, real estate professional status. So like I said, that was my problem. I'm trying to work on doing that as well to become an agent. And I'm not even going to sell real estate, but I was talking to agents and what's your thoughts on this? This is what I'm trying to do. And they're like, what if you just became a referral based agent? Just get leads and just kick them back, and you get a kickback and zero work. I'm like,
you're in that world already.
That's an amazing idea, because then I'm an agent. If I ever need to really sell my property, I can do it, and not have to pay the 3% on the seller side, right? And then, or my side, and then obviously make a little bit more income. You could probably make, anywhere from 10 to 50 to maybe even 100,000 if I could create a lead generation for myself and just pump them, give the work away.
Yeah.
Like people love that.
Right.
And I feel like just how I'm able to network with my business now, if I can just plug myself in silently as a real estate, agent or whatever, and just kick them to agents, I'd be.
Well, yeah, you will. I mean, from talking to you right now, you're going to do that. And then it's just going to be a natural plug-in with the business you're already in. Yeah. And so it's going to be, you're smart, dude. It's not even really, I mean, I guess it'd be a niche kind of just in the real estate market, but you're focusing on so much of it that I love it, dude. You're a hustler, dude. I like it. There's people, fun. It's people like you that I like to surround myself with because it's I'll figure it out mentality. And so I envy that, dude. I have it a little bit, but there's times where I'm like, I don't know if I'd have done that.
Well, I don't even know if I like consciously, consciously make those decisions like, oh, I'm going to figure it out. Like, I'm like, I'll just say yes. I'm a yes man. And I commit to a lot of things that I just have so much integrity with myself that I have to fulfill on what I say I'm going to do. So it's more of like, is the word a pushover when you could just like,
no,
I don't want to say take it
better. Yeah.
I don't want to say take advantage of, but like if I'm spread so thin and someone asks me, can you do this today? I'm like, yes. Yeah. But I get it done. And that's the thing too. That's why my prices are high. I'll do it for this. Sound good? Cool. Yeah. But I don't know if I consciously say like, oh, I'll figure it out, but
you just know you'll do it. You'll get it done.
I know. Yeah. I just know I want something and I got to put the pieces together to get there and be resourceful. Because if I don't know how to do it, someone else does.
Sure.
Don't need to reinvent the wheel, you know?
I like it, dude. Yeah, dude, we're coming up just over an hour right now. So I know we're a little bit on a time crunch, so I think we'll just wrap it up unless there's anything else you want to touch on.
No, dude, this was
pretty
fun.
much hit everything I wrote down. So
This was sick.
I think the biggest thing I'm pulling out of this, dude, is if you want to try and build something, especially when it's like customer base and you're working, face to face with people. I mean, loyalty's huge. Speed might even be a bigger deal. If you can still have quality, right? I mean, you still have to have the quality and the follow through.
Yeah.
Speed's big. And then also it's the, I'll figure it out, or just the confidence in knowing that at the end of the day, you'll get it done.
Mm-hmm. God, confidence is huge.
Confidence is huge, man. I talk about it a lot because I was not a guy that had confidence. And that's why I pointed out, when people talk about their journeys, it's like, yeah, dude, but you're not this guy unless you went through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you gain confidence. Like, it's never explained to me that way until a year ago. It's like, yeah, you've like buying this house. Like, that's something I never would have done 5 years ago.
Yeah. And once you settle in, you're going to be like, oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I was scared of that.
I'll be like, where's the next one?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And so I love it, dude. I think we can draw parallel lines between our lives and our
agree.
businesses on a lot of things. So I appreciate you sitting down. Again, episode 69, the one a lot of people were plugging their name into.
So grateful.
All right, guys, that's Mitch Rose. What's your Instagram, your social medias? People can go follow you.
Instagram is at man, MAN _ Indie Van, INDIE, and then van. But yeah, that's pretty much the only social platform I use.
And then, if they want to get in contact with you, is it your website? Is it just Instagram? How do they
probably
get a hold of you?
Instagram, but yeah, my website's rosesreels.com.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I mean, I think that real estate, you're going to jump that real estate huge. And then this course you're going to release sometime around January, I think it's going to be big time for you.
Yeah. I'm excited, dude.
I'm excited. We'll have to check in with you down the road, see where you're at with all that.
We do another one.
Yeah. Okay, man. Appreciate you coming. Guys, that's episode 69. If you liked the episode, if you like Mitch, go follow him. Make sure you share the episode. We do a bunch of clips. Another thing, I've had people reach out to me and say that they watch clips, they'll just keep it on repeat and watch it 3 or 4 times. Another thing I've figured out, and I'm sure other people know this, I'm just not as bright as other people, but that pops up that little recommend bubble at the bottom after you've watched a clip 3 times. So if you're still watching one and one kind of hits with you and you want to bookmark it, watch it 3 times, hit that recommend, and then it kind of gives us another boost through TikTok. So TikTok's blowing up right now. Our YouTube with the new Reels setting that's been around for a little bit now, but we're throwing through hundreds, couple in the million views on those. So if you like all that, share it. This is my man, Mitch Rose. We're going to be doing some stuff in the future, I'm sure, with our businesses and our retail store. So appreciate you coming again, and
Thanks for having me, man.
We'll see you guys next week.